Hey there retro fans, welcome back to RGF Retro Game Force. And who is in the mood for playing some Sega Saturn games on the PlayStation 4? So today's video will be dedicated to the Sega Saturn emulation on the PlayStation 4, and I'll discuss pros and cons of using this specific implementation, this specific emulator. So guys, stay tuned! So for starters, let's take this big elephant here in the room out of the window. Yes, I'm using a jailbreak PS4. It's the only way that you can run unsigned code into your PS4, and I'm using the latest exploit, the one found on the firmware 9.00. And please do not ask me how to jailbreak your PS4, because this is not the topic here on the video. We are focusing here on the Sega Saturn emulation and this specific implementation for emulating Sega Saturn. So there's a lot of videos out there on YouTube to explain how to exploit your PS4, so feel free, check it out on YouTube. So in this case, what emulator I'm using here to play some Sega Saturn, I'm using the Zebra engine, the one that was brought commercially to play the Cotton games. It's very famous already on the Nintendo Switch, and it runs actually pretty well on the PlayStation 4. No need to overclock or anything. I have this is not the PS4 Pro, this is the basic PS4, and in terms of frame rate, this runs like a charm. And now you're probably asking, but how do you add those games, those Sega Saturn games in the PS4 UI? It looks very clean, it looks like you bought those games on the PS Store. Well, actually you need to convert your Q and Bean files from Sega Saturn games and convert it into the PKG format that the PlayStation can understand it. And then you just put those PKG files in the USB stick and install them on your PS4. It looks complicated, but it's rather simple because there is a script, there is a software on the internet that you can download, and you can add the icon image, the background images, and basically it takes your Q file and encapsulate it already in the PKG format inside of the emulator. So you just need to install it on your PS4 and run the game. It's a very simple process. I will leave on the description below a link of a video to explain all the process, but it's very simple to do. And now, should we run some games? I'm running the Zebra engine because it's a commercial Sega Saturn emulator that it's not demanding in terms of hardware, and it's fully integrated with the PS4 and as well the Nintendo Switch. Of course, there's other options out there like installing RetroArch and running the Sega Saturn emulators on RetroArch, but yeah, in this case I'm looking into the Zebra engine. So let's see some games running. Some games are running better than others. In terms of frame rate, it runs perfectly. There are no frame drops, but in terms of issues, yes, I found some of them, and I will show you. And as well, I will show you some cool features of this emulator, like the rewind feature is pretty cool, save states, that's common, and there's also some filters and some stuff that I want to go with you guys. So let's play some games. So I choose a bunch of Sega Saturn games on purpose to show you the capabilities of the emulator. And for example, there is a filter possibility to filter to improve the image quality, and depending on the game you will use it or not. It's really about your personal taste, but from my experience I would say 2D sprite games will not go well with the filtering. That's my personal opinion, of course. I like my sprites and my pixels pixel perfect, so I don't like to apply filters on it. But for low resolution polygon games, I think the smooth filter actually goes pretty well. So it really depends on the game, but of course if you're using, for example, high resolution polygon games like Virtua Fighter 2 or Last Bronx, that I will demonstrate here, all of them, they don't go well with the filtering. I will say I will keep it without any filter, and they run pretty well and they look pretty sharp. Another cool feature of this emulator is the rewind feature, because it's very simple to use. So in Saturn Bomberman, since it's a longer level, let's say, you can rewind perfectly. You die and you can rewind back a few seconds before you actually die. That works perfectly. But for example, for fighting games, you can only rewind on the round that you are. So if you want to rewind previous to the previous round, so if you are on round 2 and you won't go back on round 1, that's not possible. So there are some limitations, but for example here on Saturn Bomberman it works really well. Another neat feature, because this is a commercial emulator, is that you can swap the game very easily. So you can press the PlayStation button on your controller and it goes to the main menu like a normal PlayStation 4 game would, and you can change the game, no problem. It works really like it was a commercial PlayStation 4 game that you can buy on the PS Store, and that's a really cool feature. And you start, if you want to swap games very fast, you will start to appreciate this more and more. So until now I only said good things about this emulator, but there is a big negative aspect, which is also part of the commercial game, the Cotton games, and this is the input lag, and it's really noticeable that you have a big amount of input lag. Let me show you with a controller in my hands on the demo disc when I scroll up and down, and you will see the input lag. Another thing that is a negative on this implementation, on this emulator, is that not all games are running on this emulator. This was designed to run specific games. Of course it runs, I'll say, 80% of the full library of the Sega Saturn, but even some games are running with some glitches, like missing sound, some glitches on the video as well. But nothing that cannot be improved in the near future. But I have to mention it, right? So bottom line, do I recommend this emulator on your PS4? I would say yes. It's not perfect, it has some flaws, but I believe it can be improved and offer a better experience. I believe it's already okay-ish if to run Sega Saturn on your PS4. I will test as well the RetroArch on the PS4, and I will bring it here to the channel so I can share my thoughts with you guys. And as well I will test PS1 and PS2 games that have a similar implementation like this one, and I will bring it as well here to the channel. So if you like this kind of content, don't forget to leave me a like, comment and subscribe to the channel. I will leave more footage of Sega Saturn games running here on your PS4. And until the next video, take care and bye bye.